Is your garden a marriage or is it a mistress? So when I say is your garden a mistress or is it a marriage, what I mean is how much time are you actually willing and how much do you want to learn about the new space that you are going to create? A mistress garden is more that you're going to go to the nursery in April or May, you're going to throw a couple things into a pot and just let it do what it's going to do. And that's fine to do that, but you cannot expect that you're going to have huge harvests of vegetables and fruit or these big sprawling beautiful flower gardens if you're only going to put in the minimal amount of time to do that. I would say one of the most common things when I am doing searches on what new gardeners need, when a new gardener comes to talk to me, an aspiring gardener, or someone comes and sees my garden, obviously not right now because it's the middle of November and everything is in a state of disaster, but they say things like, I could never do this, you must have a green thumb, I kill every single thing that I own. And to me, what that really says is I have the desire to do it, but I haven't taken that extra step to make this a relationship in my life. This is not something I have invested a lot of time in. I like the idea of it, but I haven't actually put in the work yet. And I think this is one of the most important things when you're starting a garden to actually discuss with yourself. When I talk about your garden why, I think that's such a big thing. Why do you want to have a garden? If you don't have goals like I do to have 25 raised beds and have 40 indeterminate tomato plants and grow a lot of your own food and to can it, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Maybe you just want a small little annual plot in the front of your house to give some curb appeal. That's going to take a lot less work, and there is absolutely no shame in wanting that, but you do really need to think if you're going to put in beds and start a vegetable garden, am I going to have the time to do this, and do I want to do this? I spend an enormous amount of time in my garden. I work full time. I have 2 kids. I am married, but I spend a lot of time out here because I love it and it makes me happy. It's my therapy sessions. It may not be that for you, so you don't need to force yourself to have this relationship with the garden that you don't feel like you actually want and you're not benefiting out of it. So if you've really thought about it and you've decided this is what I really want to do, maybe you're a brand new homesteader and you really want to grow your own food, you need to treat it like a marriage. This is a relationship. It's just like anything else in your life that you started off doing, you probably were not that great at it. The garden is absolutely the same way. You cannot run to the nursery in April or May and just throw a bunch of stuff into the ground and hope that it's going to work out. Plants do not require a ton of work, but they do need certain things to grow, and every plant has their own little things that they like and that they do not like. Think about a good relationship in your life. If my best friend called and said, I'm hungry, I may not know exactly what they wanted to eat, but I could probably pick something out because I know their preferences. Think about a good long-term relationship that you've been in. Maybe it's a spouse, a boyfriend, a girlfriend. You've learned things about that person, right? And your garden is the same exact way. So I think during the next couple of months, I really encourage you, because it's cold, it's kind of miserable, to decide how much time you actually want to put in. It's really easy to put a tomato plant in, but then you have to think about, does it need to be trellised? What about pests? What about trimming it? What am I going to do with all those tomatoes once I get them? There's a lot of things that go into having a successful garden space. Do you want to have a struggling garden or a thriving garden? So if you've made it this far, I really encourage you to, again, find your garden why, and then maybe do some extra research in the next couple of months. I know not every zone has colder seasons, but a lot of us do, and I think it applies to a lot of people. And even in the warmer zones, I think you still have a rest period where you have a little bit of time to decide what you're going to do for your next season. Maybe grab a book on vertical gardening, on square foot gardening. Maybe you want to learn about specific plants. You want to grow a ton of tomatoes. So you learn everything that there is to know about growing tomatoes. Use this time to your advantage. It doesn't have to be hours. Just find a book and read it when you have some time instead of watching videos, except for mine, of course. Use that time to do some research. That is what really took me from being kind of a mediocre gardener to being a semi-better gardener. I spent a lot of time out in my garden, but I didn't know what was happening. I did the things that I'm telling you not to do. I would run to the store and buy all these things. I'd throw my plants in the ground, and I didn't realize why they weren't thriving. Maybe it was because my soil wasn't very good. Maybe it's because I didn't have the light requirements that it needed, and I got frustrated. My plants would die every year until I really thought, okay, I want to be serious about this, and if you want to be serious, you need to put some time into it. So really your main takeaway here is, what is this relationship going to be to me? Is this like a little side piece? I only want to go out there maybe once or twice a week, or do you really want to make this a relationship, a long-term relationship that you're going to benefit from? That is really, really important. And like I said at the beginning of this video, One of the most important, the key things that when I really dig into why somebody's garden didn't work for them, that is almost always at least a big part of it, because they did not do any planning and they didn't do any maintenance on the relationship. They just got into the relationship without thinking and then thought, oh no, this is not for me, and then abandoned ship. If you've decided that this is a marriage for you, then that is where I'm going to come in. There is a lot of things that can go wrong in the garden. Some of them have to do with you, some of them have to do with Mother Nature, and we need to teach you how to combat both of those things. So follow along for more. We are going to go through building your garden out, planning your spaces, what to plant, how to plant it, and then how to be successful throughout the season. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you on our next episode of our Back to Basics series.